Simon & Schuster Audio presents Blind Fall by Christopher Rice. Read by Frederick Weller.
Listen to me, boy. Only gods and heroes can be brave in isolation. Stephen Pressfield, Gates of Fire. Prologue. The dog was sprawled under the rear bumper of an abandoned Opel sedan, its left leg bent at an impossible angle. There was no gore to suggest that it had been run down by the car that now concealed its forequarters, so Sergeant John Houck moved in for a closer look. Then he heard the slap of bare feet hitting pavement and looked up to see someone strangely familiar running towards him down the sidewalk. His younger brother looked just as he had when he was 16 years old, back when he and John still lived under the same roof. Bright freckles and narrow blue eyes crowding the bridge of his button nose, a thick cap of nappy red hair that moved like cake icing under even the toughest hairbrush. Dean Houck ran past the other men in John's recon team, past Captain Mike Bowers, who was scanning the empty doorways on the other side of the street. Only later would John come to realize that the true definition of a ghost was a hallucination so powerful it could distract you from a task of monumental importance. Within seconds, John became oblivious to the flies swarming the dog's carcass several yards away. He also forgot about the M4 he held in a two-handed grip, and he no longer felt the biting snakes of sweat that slithered down his body, tracing the edges of his Kevlar vest and looking for tender spots in his groin to sink their tiny fangs into. His brother wore one of those sack dresses the boys in Iraq always wore. There was an Arabic term for them, but it was Lance Corporal Dickinson who called them racky sacks. The men in his unit called him Panama Dick because he informed any Marine who would listen that his hometown of Panama City had the prettiest goddamn motherfucking beaches in the whole U.S. of A. Panama Dick was walking point as their team proceeded on foot toward a location at the town's northern border, where they had been ordered to establish a guard station, a station that the army wusses who controlled this area were too damn lazy and disorganized to set up themselves. Panama Dick and Lightning Mike Bowers both seemed miles away suddenly as John Houck watched his younger brother turn into a break between buildings that held an abandoned well. His brother turned his back to
Sample complete. Ready to continue?